Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since my last video, but today we're going to be doing a bit of a review and we're going to have a look at the brand new Star Wars Black Series Jedi Survivor multi-figure pack, which includes Cal Kestis, Turgle, Skoova Stev and BD1. So, taking a look at the packaging first of all. I've taken the inner sleeve out just so you can see the backdrop that's been included there. We're still rocking the current Black Series art style in regards to box design and all of that other good stuff. You can see the lovely little drawing on the back there we've got of the planet Kobo, which is the planet where the majority of Jedi Survivor takes place, and the place where you meet Turgle and Skoova Stev for the first time in the game, so it's very much on point in terms of theme. You've obviously got the character names on the side there, the figures included, and you've got that blue band noting that this is from Jedi Survivor, as well as the Gaming Greats logo foil sticker in the bottom left corner. More of what we've come to know on the back of the box, and we've got a read up of the figures that are included. You've got the legal rubbish at the bottom, and then on either side you've got the characters in this pack done up in that lovely mural art style. Okay, so here we've got the main attraction, which is of course the figures included in this set. So we're going to go over Turgle and Skoova Stev first, as those are the newest additions to the Black Series, and then we'll take a look at Cal Kestis and BD1 afterwards. So here's the main man himself, the gluppest of shittos from Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and that's of course Turgle. A really awesome looking figure, and one that's very unique for the Black Series, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I was very happy to see this revealed as part of this 3-pack by Hasbro earlier in the year, as were many Black Series collectors. So we will take a look at this guy right now. Starting off at the head. It's got this very wacky shaped head. Really cool. Nice painted eyes there, sculpted and painted details in the mouth, as well as a really good paint job throughout the figure. He's got a belt on his midsection there with a holster attached, where you can store this guy's blaster pistol. It's a brand new sculpt, really awesome of Hasbro to include this with the guy. It slots in there very nice and can also go in Turgle's hand. Now, in terms of articulation, which I know I don't really talk about a lot when I actually do reviews, this guy hasn't got a lot of it. But that's it's not a bad thing in this case. He mainly stands around in the game like this anyway, and if the articulation was the only compromise we had to make to get this guy in the Black Series, then I'll take it all day, because he's really cool and one that I really wanted on my shelf. So the only movement he's got ball hinges in the shoulders and the wrists, and then that is then repeated on the lower half of the figure. So we've got ball hinges in the hips and the ankles. Now this guy is quite top heavy, and he has fallen many times whilst I've been trying to do this video. So he's standing up for the meantime. He's very cool though, and I'm very happy to have him. He isn't going to be for everyone, I don't think. It really depends on if you're a fan of the games, or just a fan of wacky alien characters from Star Wars Galaxy. But either way, a very nice figure, and a great addition to the Black Series collection. So here we've got the legend that is Skoova Stev. What a fantastic character in Jedi Survivor. I always enjoy running into this guy. He's trying to collect all the different fish on Kobo, and if you interact with him, he'll go down and dive for them and tell you a really cool story afterwards. Lots of nice details on this guy. You've got a little starfish on his helmet there that's been painted, and smaller details such as the barnacles around the outside of his diving gear have also been painted in the same colour. The rest of the figure is mainly blue and a little gunmetal, but very nice nevertheless. You can take the top of his diving gear off, and by doing so we'll get a nicer look at that head sculpt there. Lovely painted details on the face where his beard is, and then his two little eyes at the top there have also been picked out. This guy is also articulated, although not by very much. He's just got ball joints at the arms, but something is always better than nothing, and it's very nice to see, and it has got a practical purpose as well. He is packed in with an accessory, which was quite a surprise, as I didn't see this in any of the reveal photos that Hasbro put out. I'm not quite sure if it was shown at the convention floor at Star Wars Celebration when he was revealed, but this is the small harpoon device that he would dive down with. I'm not sure how often you see him use this in the game, but it's very cool that we've got an accessory for this guy. Really cool inclusion and small attention to detail there by Hasbro. You can of course hold that in either hand. I believe they're identical sculpts, but it's really cool to have something for him to hold on the shelf so he's not just standing there. For me, this guy was the selling point of the set. I'm really happy to have him. I'm really happy to be getting unique characters like this guy for the Jedi Survivor shelf. So taking a look at the last two figures in the set now, that being Cal Kestis and BD1. For me, this was the least exciting part of the set. I wasn't too keen on this version of Cal, as I don't typically customise his appearance in game when I do a playthrough. This guy does have some differences to the original release though, which are quite nice. I'll run through those now and then we'll look at his accessories. So if we start off with that head sculpt, it's really nice. It has a shorter hairstyle as well as the beard, both different options that you can customise Cal to have in the game. But what I'm most impressed by this time around is Hasbro have actually remembered to include the scar details that Cal has had since Jedi Fallen Order. So we've got one across the bridge of his nose there, and a small one on his lip. Really cool that those have been included this time. And those are also present on the other head sculpt included for Cal. Let's pop him there for a moment, and we'll bring this in. This doesn't really do a lot for me. I know some people are really big fans of this from the game, with the mullet and the handlebar moustache, but for me this is going to sit in an accessory drawer. I just think it's a little too on the nose. I know the point of the game is to have all these different customizable options, but I'm just not keen on this one. So the less said about that from me the better, really. As for the figure itself, the body mould is more or less the same as the first version released. However, the blue jacket section is new, and then under that you can just make out his shirt. If I move the lightsaber down a little bit, this is more of a classic shirt design, very similar to what we see Han Solo and Luke Skywalker wear at points during the original trilogy, with that what's become classic sort of collar fold. I don't know if that's a reused part for his torso. It could be new. I just haven't had time to study the rest of the collection and see where it could have possibly been taken from. Cal also includes his blaster pistol, which is the same as the first release. That can go in the holster there on his side, or you can have him hold it in the hand that's got the trigger finger. He's got his belt there, his trousers and boots, but the lower half of the figure has been detailed very minimally. So the lightsaber in his hands there is a brand new accessory. This is the version of the saber from the game with the crossguard hilt. All the different saber styles that you can play with as Cal have got different sort of stance elements to them, different fighting styles. So this one in the game operates very much like a broadsword. It's more heavy and puts a lot of power behind your swings. His lightsaber blade is also white. You get two lightsaber blades in this set, both white coloured. Another customization option that's available in the game. So here's the other blade, and that's attached to his regular lightsaber hilt. It's exactly the same as the one from the first release, although there's a lighter shade of grey being used on the plastic for that one. You also receive the Shoto hilt from Cal's saber, as his lightsaber does split in half. And you've also got the double-bladed lightsaber hilt as well. Brand new sculpts, really, really nice. We haven't seen these before across the other Cal figures. And you can apply the lightsaber blades to any of those. They just pop out and plug in, as with any Black Series Jedi figure. The only complaint I've got about this is with the Shoto hilt. It's really cool that they included this, but to put a regular length lightsaber blade on this is a little inaccurate. It would have been nice if Hasbro would have included a shorter one, but you do get two of the same length, obviously, so you can have the double-bladed lightsaber work and not look disproportionate. So, a really cool figure, nicely updated, one I'm sure many people will be glad to get for the different parts. I'll give you a quick look at BD1 now. Not much different on this guy, it's still the same sculpt, he's just got some blue paint apps. You'll have to forgive me, I haven't had a chance to compare this to the Book of Boba Fett BD droid release, so I don't know if it's the same as that one, but this is just another one of those options that you can pick and choose from in the game. A little bit of a drawback for me is we've had about 4 or 5 different Cal figures now, and they still haven't figured out a proper way to have BD1 attached to Cal's shoulder like you would see in the game. We got that with one of the figures from Jedi Fallen Order, but it just his foot just pegged into the poncho on that one. Whereas maybe if we get another one in the future, I'd love to see a peg system or something, or even an interchangeable version of BD1 where it's just a static body that you can tab in to the back of Cal. That'd be really cool. So I'm just going to bring in the other Cal figure now so you can have a little bit of a comparison, and we'll take a look at both of those together in a moment. Here's Cal compared to the previous version that we've had in the line from Jedi Survivor. This isn't going to be an in-depth comparison, this is just so you can get an idea of the different colours and different sculpting elements that have been used between these figures. Same for BD1, just difference in colours mainly for that guy though. I will bring the figures in a little closer just so you can have a better look. So as you can see, less silver on the new BD1 and then blue instead of red. The original one is definitely the most detailed I think we've had in the Black Series. And then between the Cals you can see the difference in the likenesses there. It's insane how far we've come just in a few years. And then of course you've got the colour differences on the trousers and the different sculpting elements that have been used on the main bodies. And that just about wraps up this review, so I just want to say a big thank you for everyone that's watched, as I've shaken the rust off from these past few months and got the camera back out again. Anyone interested in seeing anything else that I pick up in the near future, you can head on over to my Instagram page, drop us a follow over there, that's always appreciated. Subscribe for more, although I am very unpredictable and I cannot promise when you will see more. But thank you again for watching, and I'll see you around. May the Force be with you, always.